Well, students, good evening to all of you. So, guys, today we will discuss the exam preparation class of M.Ed first semester, paper 4, Introductions to Research Methods. Right, guys? So, under this class, you know that this is an exam preparation class. So, mostly in our exam preparation class, we discuss the last year paper, most likely questions to come. We discuss the syllabus, right, guys? So all things we will discuss in our today's class. This is the paper 4 research, right, guys? So first of all, I show you your syllabus. Okay, you everybody know that. Okay, but I have made a notes for you. After the class I will send the this PDF copy to you, right, guys? So this is your syllabus. Okay, just see your syllabus. In a unit 1, Unit 1 is talking about educational research, and second is formulations of research problem. Right, guys? So, guys, you know that in a Unit 1, 2 long questions would come and you are supposed to come up 1 questions. Right, guys? So, I will tell you first, select your section. Okay, which sections you have to prepare well. After that, okay, go for another one also, right? Because short questions, the first question, compulsory question, 4 questions can come from any of the unit, right, guys? Second is unit 2 is hypothesis. Okay, you know that we have done the hypothesis. Okay, I have taken your class about the hypothesis. We have discussed what is a hypothesis, nature and characteristics of a hypothesis, and what are the different types of a hypothesis. So all we have discussed. Okay, types of a hypothesis. Then sampling. Okay, it is an easy one. Sampling. Okay, we have discussed. I have told you 2 types of a sampling: probability sampling and non-probability sampling, right? Again, further, under the probability sampling there are simple random sampling, stratified sampling, right? Similarly, under the non-probability sampling, so it is also easy. That unit third is talking about in your syllabus descriptive statistics. So guys, under this, okay, 3 things are central tendency, dispersion, percentile and percentile rank, and scale of measurement and nature of educational data, right, guys? So this is also easy. Either questions can come from the central tendency. Okay, most of in the last papers you see that simple questions has come. Define the merits and demerits of the mean and the median, right? Sometime question has come. Define the all these scales of measurement. So under the scale of a measurement you have to define all the four scales, right? I have given you the notes. Okay, you can see in the notes, right? All the scales, 4 types of a scales, right? Either, guys, another questions would come from the NPC. It is very simple. Okay, and always these questions would come, always, right? Because 2 questions examiner has to prepare, right? So 1 question, it cannot be happen. 2 questions would come from the 5th unit under the 5th chapter, right? So 1 question would come from the 5th chapter, 2nd questions would come from the 6th one, NPC, right, guys? So either you can do the NPC. So under the NPC you have to talk about characteristics of a NPC. NPC means normal probability curve. It is a symmetric curve. That bilateral because on the both side, right side and left side, it is identical, it is a also simple that. And applications of a NPC. Okay, either you can do this. Okay, now we talk about the unit 4. Under the unit 4, it is talking about skewness and kurtosis, right, guys? So guys, yes, skewness and kurtosis, it is also very simple. Okay, right? So today I will discuss it. Okay, and after my lecture I will give you the notes. You can learn by yourself, right, guys? So skewness kya cheez hai? What is a skewness? So when we talk about the NPC, normal probability curve, right? When normal probability curve having some deviation, or you can say that skewness either on the right side or on the left side, okay, then our topic starts skewness, right guys? So NPC, skewness and kurtosis are, all three are integrated, right guys? And last is non-parametric statistics. So under the non-parametric statistics, okay, mostly questions would come chi-square test, okay, talk about, uses of a chi-square test, hypothesis of equality and hypothesis of independence, right guys? So guys, in today's lecture, okay, I'm discussing with you the whole syllabus of paper 4 research paper, as well as we will discuss the last year paper. So you can see on your screen, this is the last year paper, okay? So even last year paper I have solved for you. I have made the notes for you. Okay. Same notes today we will discuss in the class. Okay. And after the class, I will give you. Right, guys? So see the paper 4 last year paper has come. I think it is a last year. Okay. So first, you know that it is a compulsory part. Hana? Everybody, you know that. Under the compulsory part, there are 4 questions would come. Right. And there is a no choice. All the questions you have to attempt, right? You can see that, very simple question has come. Difference between fundamental and applied research. Second, concept of population. Third, merits and delimitations of a mean and median, and uses of a chi-square test, right? Okay. Then we see the unit 1. Under the unit 1, second and third question has come. Okay. You have to attempt only one. Okay. Even both questions are very easy. Okay, first question has come. What do you mean by educational research? Explain its need and scope, right? Second has come. Underline the need and importance of related literature. Describe its different sources, right, guys? So you can see that one question has come from educational research. One question has come from review of related literature. Okay. Side by side, you can comparison with your syllabus, right, guys? So see in your syllabus, this is your unit 1. This is unit 1. You can see that. Okay. This first chapter first is educational research. You have seen now one question has come. Explain the need and importance and scope of the educational research, right? And second question has come from the second chapter, formulation of a research problems. Okay. The question has come. Talk about the review of related literature and what are the sources of a review of related literature, right, guys? Similarly, okay, you can see the unit 2. Unit 2 may question has come. Talk about the hypothesis. See the question number 4. Define the term hypothesis. Enumerate and explain different characteristics of good hypothesis. Guys, it is a very simple question has come, right? And in the 5th part, describe the concept and types of probability sampling. Again, it has come. Okay, unit 2, you can see that. This is your unit 2, right? Unit 2, there are 2 chapters. One is hypothesis and one is sampling. So under the hypothesis, hypothesis question has come. Okay, you have to talk about different types of a hypothesis and sources of a hypothesis. And under the sampling, so under the sampling, one question is define about the sampling and types of sampling. Either examiner can ask from you probability sampling or non-probability sampling. So in the last year paper, he has asked from you probability sampling, guys, right? Okay, if you have to prepare a chapter 3rd, hypothesis, so then you have to cover full chapter, meaning, characteristics, sources, and types of a hypothesis. Okay, and I guarantee you would be 100% sure that okay, you will attempt the questions. But if you select the 4th sampling, so then guys, you have to do both type of a sampling, either probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Okay, and sometime in a short questions can come. What are the sampling errors? And tell me the ways to reduce them. Okay, you can see in the notes. Okay, short questions I have given to you. Okay, what is the sampling errors and what are the ways to reduce them? Right, guys? And next unit 3, you can see that in the unit 3, okay, question has come, different scale of measurement. Okay, define, compute median of the following. Okay, and 7th has come, explain and characteristics and practical applications of a NPC, normal probability curve, right, guys? Guys, you can see that, okay, I have written here, see the values of the questions paper. Okay, why? Because I have told you here, I have given you the one tip, okay, because in a unit 3 and unit 4, right, guys, you will get a one numerical and one theoretical questions of statistics part, right, guys? But I will suggest you, if you are a very good in the statistics part, then you can attempt for the numerical questions. Otherwise, I suggest to all of you, because most of the students are not from the mathematical background, statistical background, then guys, it is always advised that you should attempt the theoretical part. So guys, you can attempt the 7th part, NPC, right? Because naturally NPC questions would come, explain the characteristics and practical applications of the NPC. Okay, even you can see in the syllabus also. This is the unit 3 syllabus, right? You can see the chapter 5th, descriptive statistics, right? Or otherwise in a 6th, characteristics and applications of a NPC. So I will suggest you for a long questions, okay, you clear your concept regarding the NPC. Okay, what is the NPC, characteristics of the NPC, features of NPC, practical applications of a NPC, uses of a NPC, right? Whole you can do. And for a short questions, okay, you can go for the fifth part, right? Similarly in the unit 4, right, guys, you can see that unit 4, dekho, one question has come, discuss the meaning, uses and application of a skewness, right? So either, you know, skewness would come, otherwise the questions would come, discuss the meaning, uses and applications of a kurtosis, right, guys? So I think, guys, you have understood, right? Last year paper we have discussed, okay, just we have seen, you know, at a you know, in one by one we have seen. Even last year unsolved paper we have, you know, seen. Now we will discuss the, you know, the whole paper. Okay, I have prepared for you the whole paper, right? Even, okay, when we will finish our lectures, you will see that almost our all the topics, all the syllabus have finished under this lecture, right, guys? So I'm going to start it. Side by side, I have the PPT also, okay, which I have already covered with you. So I can open the PPT also. The main thing is that today we will discuss the whole of your last year paper, okay? So first we talk about what is the difference between fundamental and applied research, right, guys? So guys, you can see that, okay, fundamental and applied research. You should know that from where this question has come. This question has come from the types of educational research, right? So we have already, you know, cleared this concept in a very good manner. Okay, there are 3 types of a research. One is a fundamental research, applied research, and third is the action research, right? So what is the purpose of a fundamental research? You know that, right? Fundamental research is a, you know, basic in nature. Anna, you can see that. Even I open the PPT, okay, because, okay, this is the, you know, I have made a, you know, sold for you, Anna. So instead of when we will discuss from here, so it will take a lot of time, right? So you can prepare by yourself. I can send you the PDF, right? But side by side, I can open the PPT of this applied research and fundamental research, right, guys? So this is the PPT, okay? You know that, huh? Okay, so under the research methodology, if you remember, we have covered meaning and characteristics of a research. So here, types of educational research. So this is the type of educational research, right? There are 3 types of research: basic research or a fundamental research, applied research or action research. Okay, the examiner has asked the questions, what is the difference between basic research or applied research, right? Basic research, you know that it is mainly done to obtain the theoretical knowledge. This is called the basic research or fundamental research, right? The purpose of basic research or a fundamental research is to get new knowledge, generate new knowledge for the sake of a knowledge, right? So this is a, you know, basic or fundamental research. And second research comes applied research. What is the applied research? In this type of a research, the result of the fundamental research are applied with reference to the social phenomena, right? So this is the applications we have to apply. Fundamental research kya thi? What was the fundamental research? just to get the new knowledge, generation of the knowledge, for the sake of the knowledge, right? But applied research means we apply to the social phenomena. If there is some problem, we apply that. So this fundamental knowledge is then used by the applied scientists and engineers, for example, to make improvement on the existing product, technologies and process, right? Suppose new phone has come in the market and phone has some problems, right? So after getting the knowledge, reading all things, so with the help of a applied research, we improve that product. This is applied research, right, guys? So we go back on the word file. So this is the fundamental research or basic research, right, guys? Then you have to make the heading of a difference between fundamental and applied research, right? And last me, guys, this is a very, very much important conclusion. In after every questions, you have to give the conclusion. And I have already told you, if you don't give the conclusion, your 2 marks would be deducted, right? Many times I have already told you, and today I'm also telling you, guys, in your exam, 70 marks paper would come. You have to attempt the 4 long questions and 4 short questions, right? 36 pages would come, right? Long question should be of these 7 pages with, and you have to finish your long question 30 to 35 minutes. Don't give the, even the 36 minute, right? Finish your paper in the 30 minutes, maximum to maximum 35 minutes, right, guys? Okay, rest of the time you have to attempt your 4 short questions. Okay, yeah, either when you, first of all, okay, go for the serial wise. First, I advise to you, okay, because this is the exam preparation class. I have to tell you the many tips, right? Sometimes when what the students do that. Students basically first start long questions, then the short question. So guys, I will always advise you, okay, attempt your paper like the serial order, right? First of all, you have to attempt the compulsory part, right? 4 short answers, give in the 2 pages or 2.5 pages, right, guys? Okay, then and try it. You have to do the time management. Means 4 questions, it should be finished up to the 45 minutes. Okay, so guys, this is the online lectures going on. If you have a copy and pen, so guys, side by side you can note it. Okay, otherwise you can see this lecture on the YouTube link. You will get the link also. But if you are listening me, because it is going to be online, so you can note that. Okay, first of all, you have to serial order. In the serial order, you have to attempt your questions. Number second, 4 short questions. Okay, you have to attempt 2 pages. Number third, into 45 minutes or 50 minutes, you have to finish your compulsory part. Then you have to start your long questions, right? Long questions should be up to 6.5 pages or 7 pages and should be finished up to the 35 minutes. Okay, and when you end your question, right, even either short questions or long questions, guys, you have to give the conclusion. Conclusion is must. Give the conclusion of a 4 or 5 lines for a short answer and give the conclusion of a 7-8 lines for a long answer. Okay, make the heading, underline each and every point, only then you can get a very good marks, right, guys? So first questions we have done, fundamental research and applied research. Second question has come, concept of population, right? So guys, this question has come from the sampling, right? What is the population? Population basically is the entire group that you want to draw conclusion about. A sample is a specific group that you will collect data from. The size of the sample is always less than the total size of population, right? As I in the PPT of the sampling, I have already told you, okay, basic terms about the what is a sample. Okay, sample represents the whole population, right, guys? For example, if any of the researcher wants to do the research, he just want to see the emotional intelligence of higher class student, emotional intelligence of a 10th class student of convent schools, for example, right, under the district Ludhiana, right, guys? So guys, now the examiner wants to check the emotional intelligence of the adolescents or 10th class of a student of convent school of Ludhiana district. So guys, it is not possible to collect the, data from the 10th class students of all the schools under the Ludhiana, because in a Ludhiana there are so many villages. Okay, so it is a very time consuming process. So what mostly researchers does that they take a sample. They take a sample of a 5-6 schools, 10 schools, randomly they can select, and such this sample represents the whole populations of the 10th class students of the Ludhiana district, right guys? So concept of a sample populations, you can learn that guys. I have made a very good notes for you, right? Populations kya cheez hai, right? And and how to understand about the populations, right? Now you have come to know about the populations. Okay, and under the populations, when the questions of a population has come, naturally you have to talk about the sampling also. You have to talk about the sample also, right? Because sample represents the whole population, right? So in the end, I have made a small note, relations of a sample and population in research, right guys? So guys, this is a art of attempting the paper. Okay, if the one thing is that you have prepared, each and everything. Okay, this is also an art. And if you know each and everything, you cannot say that you have written everything, because to attempt the paper, to write the paper, getting a good marks, it is also an art, right? How to attempt the paper. That's why guys, in my class, I'm sharing you with my experience with you, even the experience of these universities, right? All the universities, because they have such kind of a mindset. Okay, from that way you have to attempt your paper, right guys? Long questions comes, you have to talk about, first of all you have to read the long questions, what the question is demanding from you, right? Sometimes it is written 14 and you know that long question comes from the 14 marks. Sometimes it is written 4 plus 10, right guys? So then whatever the first part, you have to give 1 or 2 pages, and less of the 5 pages you have to attempt the 10 marks. Okay, what is asked by the examiner, right? Then define whatever asked by the examiner, and make the headings of 8 or 10 headings. And in the last guys, you have to give the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Whatever you have written above, this is a conclusion, right? So I move to the third question. Third question is merits and delimitations of a mean and median. And it is asked from the last year paper. So mean, that mean, median, these are all the averages basically, right? So mean is the most commonly used measure of central tendency, right? Ye dekho, you can see that from the figure, you can see that central tendency. Okay, it is in your syllabus. This question has come from the unit 3rd, chapter number 5th, statistics, central tendency, right? What is a central tendency? Central tendency basically talks about where the tendency of the student is going. It is a central, right? Just talk about the tendency, central tendency, right? Suppose one teacher has taken the test of the 50 students. Okay, out of the 50 students, some students has got a very good marks, some student has got less marks, and average of a students, they have got the average marks. So we come to know from the central tendency, where the tendency of the marks, tendency of your students. Okay, so mean or median he has asked. So mean, you should know that mean average ko bolte hain always. What is a mean? Mean is a average, arithmetic mean. Okay, what is the merit of a mean? You can see that. Okay, it has asked what are the merits and delimitations of mean and median, right? So mean kya cheez hai? It is a most popular central tendency, easy to understand, it is easy to calculate, it includes all the scores of distribution, it is not affected by the sampling, so that the result is reliable, right? Then what are the delimitation? Okay, these are the some of the delimitations, right? So guys, it is a easy, even the, because I have told you if the statics questions would come, numerical questions would come, so guys, you can learn the theoretical part also. No need to worry, right? Similarly, median you have to define. Okay, what is a median? Merits and delimitations. You can see that. Okay, we have already covered you, and I have already given you the notes, right, guys? You can see in the notes, okay, which I have given you, 4 months back. Okay, then uses of a chi-square test, right? What is a chi-square test? So chi-square test क्या चीज होती है? Chi-square test, it has come from the non-parametric test from your last unit, chapter number 8, right? A chi-square test is a statistical test used to compare observed result with expected result. बस ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. This one, right? This test is a statistical test. It is used to compare the observed result, whatever the result you have come to know by observing, and with the expected, what you were thinking beforehand, right? So, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Okay, concept would be more clear. The purpose of this test is to determine if a difference between observed data and expected data is due to chance, or if it is due to the relationship between the variables you are studying. This is the important, guys. It is the important lines, right? Basically, देखो पढ़ो. The purpose of this test is to determine if difference between the observed, whatever you have come to know about observing, and what you were thinking, okay, this result has come by chance, or whether the relationship between exists. Okay, so then we always use the chi-square test, right? So you can see that uses of a chi-square test. Okay, I have explained, with example also, with the chi-square test, right, guys? Okay, now, second question has started our long questions, right, guys? So side by side, we, I go, on the first page, we see the, paper also, right? So this is our paper, right? Last to last year paper. Okay, compulsory questions, all the 4 questions we have discussed, right? Difference between fundamental and applied research, concept of populations, merits and demerits of mean and median, and uses of chi-square test, right? Now the long question has started, right? So guys, I'm explaining each and everything for you. Even I'm giving you the notes for you, right? So now your work is very less. Okay, now your work is to learn it, practice it, then give your exams. Okay, and we have already told you 1 month before, okay, about your exams. So prepare your study. You have to get, all of you have to get a very good marks, right, guys? So unit 1, what do you mean by educational research? And then underline the need and importance of a related literature, right? So we talk about, first of all, educational research, right? So this is the questions, you can see that. Okay, up now, first of all, guys, it is, another tip, because it is an exam preparation class. Now learn the question once, twice, thrice, right? At least before attempting the answer, you have to learn the question 3 times, right? And see, what do you mean by educational research? Explain its need and scope, and it is of 4 plus 10. Now this question has come 4 plus 10. It means, what is it means? It means examiner is asking from define educational research only for 4 marks and need and scope for 10 marks. Right, guys? Now what you have to do, you know that within a 35 minutes or 30 minutes, you have to finish your paper, 7 pages you have to fill. Guys, then divide that. Okay, only 2 pages you have to given for the educational research, and rest of the 5 pages, including conclusion, you have to talk about need and scope of educational research. Right, guys? Sometimes what happens, students 3 or 4 pages they fill about the educational research, and only 1 or 2 pages they fill for the need and scope of educational research. So only they get only 4 or 5 marks, right? So from that way, your 10 marks deducts. So guys, that's why I'm telling you, learn your paper once, twice, thrice, and distribution of the marks, right? So guys, first you talk about the educational research. You know that what is educational research, and many times we have discussed, right? It may be defined as an application of the scientific method in the study of educational problems, right? Education is full of problems. So for improving our education system, some of the problems we encounter with the help of a scientific method, we solve that problem. Such is called the educational research. It is a systematic attempt to gain a better understanding of the educational process, right guys? CV good की एक definitions है. If you can learn, then it is okay. ठीक है? Otherwise, you can in a flow you can write it. Educational research is a study and investigation in the field of education or bearing upon educational problem. It is said by the CV code, right guys? So this is the characteristics of educational research. You can define it, okay? Then need of educational research, okay? So it is a better, okay? You can make the heading, okay, different, okay? Need of educational research. Usse pehle meaning of educational research, then scope of educational research. From that way, you get a good marks, okay? Under the need of educational research, you can see that, okay, you have to talk about what is the need, right? You know that, okay? Many times we have discussed, even you have already got the notes also. Then guys, scope of educational research. So guys, whatever, the name of our paper is, paper 4, Introduction to Research Methods, huh? So whatever we are learning now, this all comes under the scope of educational research, right? Scope means, everything, comes under the scope of that particular heading, educational research, right? So what is education? Education is the, it is as old as the human life. It is a never ending process, right? So the whole life is the education. John Dewey, he has written one book now. In his book, he has written all the life is education and all the experience is education and all the education is an experience, right guys? So under the domain of education, everything comes. Every subject comes, guys, even. So that's why when we talk about the scope of educational research, so whatever the subjects comes under the education, these will all come under the scope of educational research. Even psychology would come, philosophy would come, educational technology would come, guidance and counseling would come. So all of the these topics would come under the scope of educational research. And what is educational research? Educational research basically solve the educational problems scientifically, right? With the research methods. So educational psychology would come, philosophy of education would come, sociology of education would come, economics and education would come, educational administration would come, comparative education would come, curriculum construction. Curriculum bhi dekho. Curriculum bhi kya hai? Curriculum means syllabus, not syllabus. Syllabus plus co-curricular activity. This is called curriculum, right? There is always difference between syllabus and curriculum. Okay. Curriculum is not exclusively syllabus. Curriculum means syllabus as well as co-curricular activities. What are the co-curricular activities? Whatever, all the days we celebrate, right? All the other activities in the schools we celebrate, right? Drama, right? Debates, all the things. These all comes under the, curriculum. So curriculum and textbooks also come under the educations and under the scope of educational research. Curriculum construction and textbooks also come, right guys? Because that when the new education policy made, okay, so it was taken reviews by all of the persons, right guys? Okay, and when the curriculum जब बनाया जाता है, कोई भी syllabus बनाया जाता है, कोई भी textbook when it is written, okay, so there are a lot of mistakes in the textbooks, in the curriculum, right? So such kind of problems that comes under while constructing the curriculum and while writing the textbook. So these problems will also be solved scientifically by the educational research. That's why this topic also comes under the scope of educational research, right, guys? Then educational measurement, guidance and counseling, then educational technology, right, guys? So आपने everything you have to define under the scope of educational research. और ये देखो last में even okay of a 6 lines I have given the conclusion. Even you can increase that. Okay. Thus, in conclusion, okay, whatever the word you can write it. Okay. Thus, you can okay write here. Thus, in conclusion, right? लिखने के बाद then you have to underline with the pencils. Okay, go in the exams with the pencils also. Okay, so then when the examiner will check your paper, when they will when he will check your paper, he will see that directly on the conclusion. Okay, so you have to make like that. Okay. Okay, next question has come. Underline the need and importance of related literature. Describe its different sources. One time we have read. Second time again. Underline the need and importance of related literature. Describe its different sources. Third time again read it. Underline the need and importance of related literature. Describe its different sources. 7 plus 7. So guys, now it was come in your mind. Okay, examiner is asking two things. Number one, need and importance of related literature, and number second, it is talking about what are the sources of related literature, and 7 plus 7, right? So from that way you have to do that. Okay, so what is a related literature? Many times we have discussed. Even I open the PPT also, right? It is easy. Okay, I close this PPT and open the related literature. All the PPT we have discussed. Okay, I have opened, right? Related literatures. Okay, you can see that. Review of related literature, right? What is a related literature? A literature review is a comprehensive summary of the previous research of a particular topic on a particular topic. It may be used as the background for a primary research study. Right, guys? Suppose whatever the topic you are going to study, okay? So guys, unless or until you have to clear about that base of that topic, right? So whatever your topic, whatever your problem, first of all, you have to review the some of the literature of that background knowledge, right? For example, after 15 days, 10 days, 15 days, you are going to give your M.Ed exam. Okay, so what you are doing that now every day you are learning. Okay, so basically what you are doing that now you have the lot of literature, lot of knowledge about okay what the examiner can ask. Okay, what you are doing that every day you are reading your syllabus, you are looking about your questions, you are looking about the last year papers. Okay, so you are getting knowledge about the what is the base, Hana? So similarly, whatever your problem is, you are going to study the problem for a 2 year. So review of related literature works as a background of that for a primary research, right? So what is the purpose of a review of related literature? The purpose of a review of related literature is to gain an understanding of the existing research relevant to a particular topic, study, problem, or phenomena. Right, guys? For example, you are going to write about the teachings of Lord Jesus. Your study is teachings of Lord Buddha, right? So guys, writing the thesis on the Lord Buddha, writing the thesis on the Lord Jesus, you have to collect the reviews first. Okay, what are their teachings from different newspapers, what are the sources? Okay, next question is the what are the sources of review of related literature? So this is the sources of review of related literature. From where you can get the sources? Journal and books, right? Reviews, abstracts, indexes, from from the internet, right? So these are all the sources of internet. Doctoral dissertations, it means okay whatever your topic is. For example, some of the researchers they have already talked about, they have already presented the dissertation on the same topic which you are going to study, right? Okay, now you can get the help of these all the these all the reviews from your seniors also. But guys, under the bibliography you have to write the name of the person from where you have got the your reviews. This is the ethics of the research, right guys? But most of the cases your research should be different. Okay, from where he has left, you have to start from where he has left. Okay, if your topic is same. So guys, this is a reviews of related literature and sources of, right? So that was two questions, need and importance of related literature and different sources, right? So first of all, to you talk about need and importance of related literature. Ye dekho, what is the need and importance? Yeah, this is the importance, right? ये importance के points मैंने बना दिए हैं सारे, right? So you can learn it, okay? Then उसके बाद ये 13 14, then different sources. कौन कौन से different sources हैं, right? Books हैं, magazines हैं, newspapers हैं, online articles हैं, dictionaries हैं, okay? Even you can extend little bit more about the sources of a review of related literature, okay? Then one thing I have missed here, but you have to do, you have to talk about the conclusion, right? Conclusion part you have to write, right, for a 6 or 7 pages, okay? Okay, the number 4th question. 4th question has come. Define the term hypothesis. Enumerate and explain different characteristics of a good hypothesis. Okay, again read, second time, third time. Okay, then you will come to know it is asking about 6 plus 8. 6, it is talking about define the term hypothesis for a 6 marks. Then you have to talk about different characteristics of a good hypothesis of a 8 marks. So means what you have to do, average 6-7 pages you have to fill. 3 pages you can give to the where you have to define about the hypothesis and nature and characteristics of a hypothesis, and rest of the 3 or 4 pages you have to talk about, explain the different characteristics of the good hypothesis, right? So guys, first of all we talk about what is a hypothesis. So we have already talked many times. Okay, we open the PPT, okay, because from the PPT, okay, it would be cleared. Hypothesis is basically our supposition, right? Our assumption. Okay, whatever we are going to study, we assume that about a particular thing that would happen. Then we talk about that things, right? Ye dekho, what is a hypothesis? Now you have remembered, this PPT we have already done, right? A hypothesis is a statement or an assumption about relationship between variables, right? So what is a hypothesis? Awareness of a rights among women in rural areas. So this is a research hypothesis. Okay, why I have given this example? Because a hypothesis is not a simple any statement. Hypothesis basically talks about relationships among variables. Hypothesis talks about two relationships, two variables. Hypothesis talks about relationship among two variables, at least two variables. Okay, then it becomes a hypothesis. Okay, not every any general statement is a hypothesis. Okay, you must remember. Okay, so read it. Awareness of a rights among women in rural areas. So now guys, here variables are used: rights, awareness of rights, rural areas. We are talking about women. Okay, so we are using the relationship. So then there's a relationship. Okay, awareness of a rights among women in rural areas, because you have seen that most of the rural areas, they don't know they have to cast the vote. After the age of 18, they are eligible for casting the vote. So we can do that research on particular this topic. Next is, what impact does daily use of a Facebook have on study attentions of under 19s? So means basically what is the impact of social media like Facebook or YouTube on the study attentions of under 19 means adolescents. Okay, if I write here people, तो people में तो adolescent भी आ गए, adult भी आ गए और kids भी आ गए, right? So when we define the statement, right, particular statements, so then it becomes a hypothesis. And basically hypothesis is a supposition, hypothesis is a pre-assumption, hypothesis is a statement about the whatever the study we are going to do, we are going to start. Okay, first we make the hypothesis, and guys, we do the study whole of the year on that particular hypothesis, and in the end we see that, we compare that whether our hypothesis is accepted or rejected, right guys? So it is talking about, the question was, what was the question? What was the hypothesis, need and characteristics of a hypothesis, and the characteristics of a good hypothesis, right? So first you have to define about the hypothesis. ये देखो, है ना? Hypothesis is an assumption about relations between variable. Number second, tentative explanation of a research problem or a guess about the research outcome, right? So already we have discussed now. Okay. So then you have to talk about characteristics of a good hypothesis. Okay. So what are the characteristics? Main I have written on the PPT, but in detail I have defined on the PDF file, on the Word file, right? Hypothesis should be simple so that it is easily understood by everyone. Hypothesis should be capable of being tested. Hypothesis should state a relationship between variables. Ayana, it should state relationship between variables. It must actually explain what it claims to explain. क्या बात है ना, कितनी important line है. Hypothesis, it must actually explain what it explains to what it claims to explain. Hypothesis guarantees that available tools and techniques will be effectively used by the purpose of a verification. It must explain the facts that gave rise to the need of a explanation, right guys? Now I open the Word file, so that, because guys you have to learn now, so you should know the you should need a lot of material, right? So now you can see the Word file. ये देखो hypothesis है first, right? Then उसके बाद आ गया nature and characteristics of a hypothesis, right? Then the different characteristics, huh? So different characteristics of a hypothesis. Okay, power of a predictions, ये देखो you can explain. Closest to the observed things, simplicity, clarity, testability, right? Relevant to the problem, specific, relevant to the available techniques, fruitful for a new discoveries, consistency and harmony, right? Then in a flow you can write that. Okay, hypothesis should be simple so that easily understood by everyone, right? So it must explain the facts that gave rise to the need for explanation, right? Then in the last I have written uses of a hypothesis in the educational research for a half page. Okay, you can define it. Okay, and last you have to talk about conclusion, right guys? Okay, number 5th question is, describe the concept and types of a probability sampling, right? You know that what is a sampling, huh? And sampling is of the two types. One is a probability and one is a non-probability sampling. Okay, we open the PPT from sampling PPT. Okay, even we have discussed, okay, in our last classes. ये देखो sampling, it will talk about the ये देखो sampling, right? What is a sampling? Sampling is the part of population. It represents the population. You can see that here is a population, here is a sample. Okay, so when we do the research now guys, so we don't consider the population, we take only sample, and that sample represents the whole population. Okay, because to get the data from the population, it is a very time consuming task. Okay, it will take a lot of years. So what we do, that randomly we do the sampling, and that sampling represents the whole of the population, right guys? So sampling are of a two types. One is a probability sampling, one is a non-probability sampling. Okay, so guys, one thing you should be clear in your mind, under the chapter of a sampling there are two things. Either examiner can ask from the define the probability sampling, either define the non-probability sampling, nothing else. So when you are doing the sampling, so you have to learn only the 4 types of a probability sampling or 4 or 5 types of a non-probability sampling, right? systematic, cluster, stratified, simple, non-probability, convenience, snowball, judgment, and quota. This is an easy one. Okay. Even the name, from the name, guys, you can guess it. Probability sampling. What it does, it means probability hai. Means there is a probability, there is a chance to be selected by every person, each person. Non-probability means there is a no probability, there is a no chance. Okay, we can take the sample from our choice. Okay, suppose we can take same example, emotional intelligence of a 10th class convent schools in the Ludhiana district, right? If we are doing the study of a probability sampling and we are using the simple random sampling, so what we will do, first of all, we will collect the data from the internet under the Ludhiana districts. For example, there are 10 convent schools. Yeah, so for example, 50 convent schools. Okay, so what we will do that for our study, we will take that every 10th convent school for our study. Okay, so how many schools? 50 convent schools in the Ludhiana district. So first we take the number 1 schools. Okay, first we write on the on the notebook. Okay, 50 schools we have written. So under the probability sampling, we are using the technique of a simple random sampling. But we will do that, we will take for our study every 10th school of by using the simple random sampling. So first we will take the first number, second we will take the 10th one means 11th, next 10th one 21st, next 10th one 31st, next 41. So we have taken the 5 schools for our sampling, right? But if we are using the non-probabilities technique, so then we can take the any of the schools like apni marji se, right? We can take the 5th number, we can take the 20th number, we can take the 35th number, right? So these are the different methods, right? So I think you have come to know that about the probability sampling. So under the probability sampling, you have to talk about simple, stratified, systematic, cluster, and multi-phase sampling. And if the question is asked by the non-probability sampling, so then you have to talk about convenience, judgment, snowball, and quota sampling. Right, guys? So you can see that in the in the PDF file, in the Word file. Ye dekho, concept and types of a probability sampling. First, talk about the probability sampling. Okay, then types of probability sampling. Ye dekhiye, simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, systematic sampling, cluster sampling. Okay, multi-stage sampling. Okay, then steps. Then uske baad, what are the advantages of this, and what is the uses of probability sampling? Ab uses kya hai probability sampling ke? It reduces sample bias because there is no bias, है ना? In a probability sampling, because every 10th schools we are taking in our study. Okay, but in the non-probability sampling में क्या कि हमारा biasness आ जाता है ना? From our अपनी, that's why ना, sometimes there are a problem in the research, problem in the thesis, because the sample they are not taken as a systematic way, in a very systematic way, right? So iske uses kya hai? Reduce sampling error, right? Create an accurate sampling. And what are the advantages of a probability sampling? Cost effective, simple and straightforward, and non-technical. Okay, this is an easy one, right? Sampling. Okay, then next question has come, 7th. It has come from the statistics part. Explain the characteristics and practical applications of a normal probability curve. Okay, you can see in the last year paper. Okay, ye dekho, paper we sath side by side na, so that you will come to know that na how much we have covered, right? So this is our paper, huh? All compulsory questions we have covered of last year. Difference between fundamental and applied research, concept of population, merits and demerits of mean and median, uses of a chi-square test, huh? What do you mean by educational research? Explain its need and scope. We are done, huh? Then third one, underline the need and importance of a related literature. Describe it, different sources. We are done. Hypothesis, number 4th questions. We are done. Explain the term hypothesis. Enumerate and explain different characteristics of a good hypothesis. And last, we just finished. Explain the types of probability sampling. Now, 7th questions we are doing here. Okay. Statistics part I'm not doing, right? Okay, because if choice is given to go for the theoretical part. So go for the theoretical part, explain the characteristics and practical applications of a NPC. Right, guys? So this is a unit third. You can see the syllabus also. In a syllabus third, okay, there is a one chapter fifth or one chapter sixth. Okay. So guys, I will also advise you go for the chapter sixth NPC, because under the NPC, you have to learn characteristics, application and uses of a NPC. Okay, for a long one. I'm talking about long one. And for a short one, guys, you can go for this. If you select the chapter fifth for a long one, so then you have to go in detail of all the topics. Okay. Even I have given you the notes, you can go that. Okay. But now we are talking about today is the exam preparation class where we are making the strategies, talking about the tips of, how to, write the exams, how to attempt the exams. So we are making the strategy. So strategy says that, okay, for a long questions, you can go for NPC, and for a long question, you can go for this, right? And even definitely one question from the NPC definitely would come. Okay. Otherwise, instead of the NPC, after doing the NPC, one or two questions you can go from here also. So then even if comes from that point, so you can also attempt that, right, guys? So now we go for our questions about the NPC, normal probability curve. This is the important, right, guys? So give attentions to all of you. This is important and it is easy also. Okay. Normal probability curve. What is the NPC? Okay. So this question has come. So it has started normal probability curve. Okay, guys. Now we discuss NPC. Okay. So the question is, explain the characteristics and practical applications of normal probability curve. सबसे पहले, guys, you have to understand what is normal probability curve. For one, okay, what are the different names of a normal probability curve, who developed the normal probability curve, and how we draw the normal probability curve. Then we will talk about uses and practical applications of a normal probability curve. So guys, in a very literal manner, literal meaning of a normal is average. Okay. Most of the things, this is important. Most of the things like intelligence, wealth, beauty, weight, height are quite equally distributed, right? Even when you talk about the wealth, paisa, it is equally distributed. We are 1.30 populations, na 1.1 arab or 130 crore है ना, people are living in the India, around 135 crore, right? So all the 135 crore persons are not rich person, rich are very less, but mostly 80%, 90% are the normal average. Similarly, intelligence, okay, not all the 135 crore persons are so much intelligent, right? So few are above the intelligence. Okay, all other 80-90%, 95% are the average persons. So normal means, the literal meaning of the term normal is average. Most of the things like intelligence, wealth, beauty, height are quite equally distributed. When you talk about the height of all the persons of the India is normally about 5'7", 5'6", 5'8". When you talk about 6.5, 6.5 foot, 7 feet, so those persons are very less persons. Okay, so average persons. Even guys, when the teacher takes a test in the class, okay, so the teacher has taken the test in the class of 50 students. Okay, the score of a 50 student is mostly 80-90% scores taken by the 50 students are the average scores, right? So there are quite a few persons, again dekhiye, there are quite a few persons who deviate noticeably from average, either above or below. Okay, and if we plot such a distribution, a graph on the paper, we get a bell-shaped curve, and this bell-shaped curve is called the normal probability curve. You can see that, right? अब ये देखिए, just see that this is a normal probability curve. It is a bell-shaped curve. Okay, go with the pencil. You can draw over there normal probability curve. Just see the normal probability curve. What it says as normal probability curve. Okay. So I'm giving you one questions. Okay, you tell me. Okay, suppose you are the teacher in the class and your student are 50 students in the class. You have taken a one test. Okay, and what are the scores obtained by the student? Out of a 50 students, for example, okay, very few students have taken the excellent marks, about 98, 99 marks. Okay, only very few, and very few students have taken a very less marks. Out of 100 they have taken a 30, 40 marks, right? 20, 30 marks. But guys, what happens in most cases, most of the class takes the average score. Okay, now see in the normal probability curve, okay, the extreme position, you can see that this is the, they are the, those here, those students are lying, they have taken the average marks, right? Okay, and there are two tail of the normal probability curve. Okay, one is right side and one is left side. So on the right side tail and the left side tail are those students, they are extraordinary students. Okay, they are very brilliant students, right? They have taken a very good marks, near to 100. And on the left tail, they are some below average students. They have just passed. Okay, so mostly happens. So this thing always happens. Think in your mind in the case of a height also, right? Okay, matlab height may be in the country, in India we talk about, okay, maximum 80-90% people in the country, they have the average height. So then this is the tip. You can see that the bell-shaped tip, this tip, these tips are the, here those persons are lying, they have the average height, average intelligence, average money, right? And one is right tail and one is left tail. It is talking about those persons having a good amount of a money, they are very rich person, and on the left side they have a very poor person. This thing happens now. Okay, now you have come to know about the normal probability curve. Okay, now we talk about who invented it. So guys, it was invented, it was normal probability curve derived by the Gauss. Okay, in 1777, during between 1855. Okay, if you don't know the date, okay, you can remove that, you can say that, okay, it was curve was devised by the Gauss, and in the honor of a Gauss, it is a name of the person, mathematician, renowned mathematician Gauss. Gauss invented the this normal probability curve. First he derived in during between 77 to 1855, right? And in the honor of the Gauss, it is also called as a Gaussian curve. Okay, if the question has come about the, right, the uses and application of a Gaussian curve, okay, so don't confuse. Okay, so it is talking about normal probability curve, right guys? But mostly we are looking from last many years, it comes about NPC, right? So I'm just telling about the another name of the curve. So it is also called the curve also, normal curve, okay, Gaussian curve, right? So these are the some of the name. So in probability theory, the normal distribution or NPC, okay, is also called the Gaussian distribution, most significant continuous probability distribution. Sometimes it is called the bell curve also. Okay, bell curve also. Okay, ye bhi aa sakta hai, right? The uses and applications of the bell curve. So it is talking about NPC, right guys? So guys, here we understand what is the probability. Okay, because normal probability curve na, probability, one word is using probability, normal probability curve. Curve we have understood, normal we have understood, probability kya cheez hai? Probability is nothing but a chance of appearing. Normal probability curve is drawn to show the equal distribution of the scores either on the left side or right side. Okay, it is in the bell-shaped curve without touching the baseline. Baseline is not touching. Okay, this is the important thing. Okay, see in the curve, you can see that, right? Left tail or right tail is not touching. There is a gap, right? So only then normal probability curves make, right? This is a normal probability curve. Now there is a example to understand the normal probability curve. Okay, see the example. You will completely understood. Okay, you will be completely understood about the normal probability curve. See the example. In a normal classroom, we always observe that most of the students get average marks, very few get excellent marks, and very few get poor marks. So if this thing we draw on the graph or curve of such data, we get the normal probability curve. ये देखिए, ऐसे आप ड्रा करोगे ना, right? If in your class some students have got a, good marks, some student has got a, poor marks, but average student has got a very good marks. So this thing when you draw, so you can draw like that. This is called the normal probability curve. As well as many characteristics like height, weight, strength, learning ability, cooperativeness, social dominance, etc. are the normal probability curve, falls under the normal probability curve. We can take the examples of that. We have just discussed about it. Okay. Hence, normal probability curve has a great significance in the social science and behavioral science. Okay, guys. तो आप इसको ये learn कर लेना, guys, है ना? Concept you have understood. Okay. Okay. We discuss the characteristics and properties of normal probability curve. Because question was asked by the examiner, characteristics and uses of normal probability curve. So number one is, the first characteristics is this normal curve is symmetrical. You have to write, right? आगे देखो, I have written the meaning of that. Symmetrical means equal, identical, right? So normal probability curve, see the normal probability curve. This is a symmetrical on the left side and right side. You can see that. And it is a symmetrical from the ordinance of the central point of the curve. ये देखो central. This is a central point of curve. Here mean, median, mode lies. This is called the normal probability curve where mean, median and mode coincides. ठीक है? On the same line. Average means average, समझ लो आप. Mean, median, mode means average, right? Normal probability curve, number one. Number two, this curve is asymptotic. Asymptotic का क्या मतलब होता है? It means left tail or right tail does not touch with the baseline. There is a one baseline na, from here, baseline. Okay. Okay, you can see that the normal probability curve approaches the horizontal axis and extends to this means extreme ends of the curve. One is a left tail, one is a right tail. ये right हो गया, ये left हो गया. Okay. They are not touching the baseline. That's why it is called asymptotic, right? ये देखो अभी next. Mean, median, mode is coincide. Third characteristics ये uses क्या है इसके? Mean, median, mode coincide. देखो first, okay. Mean, median, mode falls on the same line. This is called symmetric distribution. Okay. On the right side, देखो see on your screen. Okay, where mean, mode or median, they are lying different. So guys, when it does not make a bell-shaped curve, it declines either right side or left side, then this is called the skewness, which is your next topic, skewness. Got it? So third characteristics is mean, median, mode coincides. When mean, median, mode does not coincides, okay, when there is a no bell-shaped curve, when there is a declining on the right side or a left side, then this curve is known as, this is called skewness. Okay. Third one. Number four. This normal curve is unimodal. What is the meaning of a unimodal? यहाँ से पढ़ लेना आप. There is only one point in the curve which has maximum frequency. हाँ, yes, one point है ना, देखो maximum frequency. ये देखो, there is a one point curve, right? Unimode है. The maximum ordinates occurs at the center. Naturally, mean, median, mode, or maximum persons occurs at the center. In a simple term, maximum students of your class, they have got the average marks. Matlab, maximum students falls on the same point. Okay, matlab average point. The height of the curve declines symmetrically. Normal curve is a smooth curve. Normal curve is a bilateral. Bilateral means either left side or right side, it is a mirror image. When you see your image in the mirror now, what happens? Both sides are equal. Either left or right are equal. This is called the bilateral. Okay. Again, you can write the sum of the, it is a bell-shaped curve. All the tendencies meet this bilateral. ये देखो आप देख सकते हैं. फिर then आगे applications, right? Applications of a normal probability curve. What is the applications? अब अब we have come to understand about what is a normal probability curve. Okay, Gauss mathematicians उन्होंने first time derive किया था. Gaussian curve भी बोलते हैं इसको, right? Now the question comes, what is the applications? Why we learn that normal probability curve, right? Being teacher, what is the application? What is the usage? So guys, from the normal probability curve, okay, you can do the following things. What you can get that from the help of a normal probability curve, you can know about your students, how much students falls below and how much students falls above and how much students are average. The work of a teacher is not pouring into the mind of the student, guys. It is not a duty of the teacher only comes in the class and pouring into the mind of a students for half an hour by looking from the books. Okay, you have to see the performance of your student. How many students in your class? How many are weak? How many are intelligent? How many are average? On which students you have to do the work. So if you know about these things, normal probability curves, statistics, these are in your syllabus now, so you can easily find out, from the, you can say that condition status of your students. Okay, to test the significance of observed measures, right? To determine the percentage of cases. Okay. So these are all uses to test the significance of observation of experiments. NPC is used to generalize about population from the sample, converting raw data into comparable standardized normalized scores. So guys, these are all important and uses of normal probability curve, right guys? Okay, next आ गया skewness, right? अब 8th question क्या करना है? Before going on the skewness ना, first clear your concept about the NPC, guys. Okay, then come prepare with skewness. In the next class, next exam preparation class of a paper 2 or paper 3, I will take soon, right? Even before Sunday, might be, okay, right? And in the class, okay, I will ask the, some of the questions from this paper from you orally, okay, and about the skewness, okay. Last questions I'm giving to you as an assignment. You have to come by learning uses and application of a skewness, okay. And rest of the whole paper I have discussed with you, okay. Up now we see our syllabus, guys, right? So if we see the syllabus, so up now, last year paper we have solved. Now we see our syllabus. So when we see our syllabus, so I think educational research we have done, we are touch every point, meaning, nature and scope, all the 3 types of educational research. Formulation of a research problem we have already done. Reviews we are touch. Okay, unit 2 mein hypothesis we have done, right? Sampling mein we are done almost everything, probability, non-probability, है ना? Sampling errors you can see. Okay, this point you can see in the notes, right? Unit 3rd mein NPC we are done. Okay, now central tendency, dispersion, percentile or scale of measurement. Okay, you can see in the notes I have given you 4 months back, right? You can see that here it is written in a very easy method, right? All. Okay, skewness I have given today, skewness about, right? Kurtosis ka I have given you the notes, you can see that. And non-parametric test also you can see in the notes also. So almost our whole syllabus has finished. Last year paper has finished. Now guys, now this is your turn. Now you have to learn it, clear the concept in your mind, okay. And you have to make the speed also, Okay, and next thing is that you have to do with the time management. And even I will advise to all of you, if you have a if your speed is a slow, so then you can do the practice. Okay, one long questions you can do the practice at your place, wherever you are putting up, right guys, and see that whether it is a finishing within a 30 minutes or not. Okay, if it is taking more time, so then you should work on that, right? And as well as your exam would start after 10th February, right guys? So already, even 15-20 days before, we have told you. Okay, and try to finish guys once, then do the revisions, only then you can give the your exams very effectively. Okay guys, thank you so much for this class, right? Soon we meet in the another class. Thank you so much guys. So thanks to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Guys,
sir.
thanks to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Okay, so I will send you this this
Thank
PDF
you,
also,
sir.
right guys?
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Right,
Sir,
thanks to
you
all
will
of
send the
you.
PDF?
I will send you the PDF, don't worry, within a 1 hour you will get it, all of you, right? So I'm
Yes, sir.
going to record this session. Thank you so much guys, and you will also get this video also. Okay.